The ochre cliffs on Bunurong land present themselves to me. I want to read the story of this land, to decode her messages. The ochre cliffs are inviting me into their world. The interactive identity stories described by Piers Cowan in 2023 inspire me with the possibility of co-creating worlds with natural phenomena. I discover my humanness can interact with the ochre gallery. Our identities become entangled as our story emerges. An unconscious knowing nudges me urgently and persistently. Our identities become entangled as our story emerges. An unconscious knowing nudges me urgently and persistently as images appear in the cliffs of clay. I feel the heartbeat of this land, of these spirits. I feel it in my body. The land is breathing, the heart is beating. She's alive. I am an ecological being. The land is my companion. The precognition in my body is awakened by the natural seascaped ochre cliff gallery. My understanding of the interaction between myself and the clay cliffs becomes important. I can bring the country alive by telling her stories, by listening to them, by seeing them, by feeling them. I have always been drawn to the cave and rock paintings created by ancient humans. I have dreamt of and seen such symbolic images, and now I am realizing their deep significance after reading Carl Jung's Libra Novus. The resonating sensations gives me courage and strength. I'm able to map the landscape by my interactions with it. I see and feel the Bunurong ancestors, and somehow through the paintings of the emergent images, my own story unfolds. I am part of this country, and she is part of me. I am unable to find where I begin and the country ends. We are interconnected. Their story becomes my story, so the images reveal themselves magically. The inquiry trails map out my path so I can navigate the ochre cliffs and see her secret stories. Co-regulating has awakened my senses to further my active inquiry into this colourful clay landscape. I am drawn to touch the coolness of the clay, to scratch the surface, to reveal the colours and patterns below. Tishman impressed upon me the importance of slow and deep observations. I have learned by slowly looking and appreciate the clay gallery. I am able to take a second, deeper look, and finally the image will be revealed. It gives me such joy to recognise myself and my story as part of the story of the Bunurong ancestors. The Indigenous systems of knowing articulated by Cameron in 2021 informed the creation of these paintings. Pre-conscious knowledge became an active participant in this process. All of my senses and my proprioception came into life as like fireflies in this extended encounter with the ochre cliffs. As I walked, danced, sang, touched, and talked to the embodied images in the clay gallery, I sensed my own embodied images. This ability to dialogue with country is an integral part of me. The country sings to me as I sing up the country. I am inspired by Bill Doan's suggestion to inhale, exhale, and draw. As I paint the faces forming before me, It forces me into the moment. If I'm not in the moment, I can't see the images before me. Heath's 2018 discussion of narrative therapy assists me to choose the medium to use for healing. Heath's research into using culture as a means of valid, free expression helped me to acknowledge what I need to do. My intuition is validated by Bush's discussion on reflexivity in the process of dialoguing with self. I am able to discover the unknown in my inquiry as I respond to the materials and reflect on my connection to country. The clay in the ochre cliffs becomes personified as the whole landscape engenders the wonder that Bush described in 2013. I take up her suggestion to stop and give myself time and space to feel into the country. I'm aware of what I am contributing to the moment as my wish to discover more about the clay grows. The clay in the ochre cliffs becomes personified as the whole landscape engenders the wonder that Bush described in 2013. I take up her suggestion to stop and give myself time and space to feel into the country. The stories arise from the clay as experiences from my childhood combine with the present. Kimura's description of the ancient wisdom and knowledge of wild places and plants in 2013 validate my familiar conversations with the living world. Kimura alludes to a deep wisdom in nature for which we have no words. Indigenous languages do not label, they describe their relationship with the environment. I begin to experience intersubjective space as described by Bush in 2013. I co-create the world with the clay of the ochre cliffs. I begin to understand the language of the cliffs. Practicing solo inquiry with my emergent form in class has laid down the foundation for this resonant relationship. I am becoming more confident in noticing what is happening in the moment and then informing thoughts through interaction with my environment. I sing to the land. She sings back to me. These paintings take on a life of their own as patterns in the clay reveal the faces and the stories. The unseen, unheard narrative is intuited. The land speaks. Da-di-di, deep listening. Now I know why I see these faces and how I got here. I have met you in your world. Aspects of myself have emerged as the ochre cliffs have led me on a journey to discover my personal mythology.